Alright, I'm gonna go through some of the big hands that I played in the World Series of Poker Europe now. And the first one I'm gonna go through is a hand where I had King Jack in the big blind. And Jacob Paulson raised to 17,000 at 3-6 with pocket nines. He raised to 17,000. And Owen Dreesen called on the button with 6-7 suited, which is pretty standard in my opinion because we're really deep stacked. And Pat Scanlon calls in the small blind with Queen 9 offsuit, which I really don't like. It's just out of position, and his hand just plays horribly post flop. And I don't know. I guess that's just how he plays. He didn't play very well at all. Alright, so the flop comes down King 4-4, and Pat checks obviously because he's Queen High and he's not going to do anything with it. I check because I'm afraid if I lead out, Jacob is going to raise because I would never lead there with a 4, and then he's probably going to push me off my king because I don't know where I'm at. So I check, and Jacob bets 40,000 and 72,000, which is like pretty standard bet, trying to find out where he's at with his nines, just to see if any of us has a king. And then Oyvind folds because he's 7 high. Pat folds, and I call. I don't want to raise here because I really think if I raise, my hand is going to look a lot more like a bluff than a king. Okay, so I call the flop, and the turn comes down a queen, which doesn't really help my hand, but in his opinion, he probably doesn't think that I have a very strong king, because ace-king I would have erased pre-flop with, and king-queen definitely helped my hand here, but I think he puts me on some kind of a pocket pair, just hoping to get to a cheap showdown, because he's probably going to shut down if he doesn't have much, in my opinion. So I check, and then he bets 60,000, which is a really, really small bet. He bets like a third of the pot, and I just don't feel like I can give up on my hand yet. I think it's the kind of bet that he would make if he picked up like a draw on the turn, if he had like 10 jack, or if he had like a flush draw. I think that's the kind of bet that he would make on the turn, just to set up a really big river bluff. So I call, and then the river is an ace, which is kind of a really scary card for me because he could be like 2-barreling or 3-barreling with like ace 10 or ace jack. But also, I'm not sure if he's going to be betting those hands on the river because it does look like I have a big hand and I'm not folding. And I think, like I said on the turn, like he could easily have some kind of draw that he picked up, trying to set up a river bluff, and he bets 150,000, which is a really big bet compared to what he did on the turn. So in my opinion, he either wants me to think that he's really strong, or he's bluffing. Like his line just doesn't make any sense at all. Like, if he had ace-king, it's the only hand he's playing that way. If he had ace-queen, he's probably checking his turn. If he had kings, he's probably checking the flop. If he had queens, he's probably playing it the way he did, but there's just such a small chance he has queens in this spot. So I think that's why I decided to call, because his river bet just doesn't make much sense. If he had a strong hand, he would bet more on the turn, and then probably the same amount on the river, and if he was value betting, I think he would have bet less on the river if he had a hand like ace king, because he wouldn't think that I would be able to call.